This is your slide lecture for the chapter on melody. Melody is one of the most memorable aspects of music. It is also the linear aspect of music. If we follow the round note heads, much like a dot-to-dot puzzle, a line is created. Good melodists know the power of a strong, catchy melody. Mozart was this kind of composer. His melodies have a way of imprinting themselves on our brains, so we continue to hear them long after the music has ended. Another example of a strong melody comes from advertisements. Jingle writers know the power of a repetitive and likable melody that will help sell their products. Melodies in contrasting styles can be described by characteristics as contour or shape, range, and motion or movement. Often melodies are organized into phrases, which are marked by punctuations called cadences. In order to understand a melodic range, the term interval is needed. Musical tones are organized into groups of 7 repeating tones. These tones are assigned letter names from the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The distance from one tone to another is called an interval. Intervals provide a means of measurement musically. The range of a melody, then, is the distance or interval from the highest tone to the lowest tone. Simple children's nursery rhymes have a very narrow range and often use small intervals, whereas an elaborate opera solo might have a very wide range and use large intervals. The contour or shape of a melody contributes largely to the emotional effect. Ascending melodies can portray soaring, uplifting feelings, while melodies with a wave-like contour may be contemplative or relaxing. The arc is a frequent contour where the melody gradually ascends to a climactic high note and then descends, often symmetrically, to the end of the phrase, creating a very satisfying balance. Descending melodies produce the effect of decreasing energy and may be used for a smooth landing. This slide has a number of examples of melodic contour or shape. You may look them up on YouTube. The following are additional examples of melodic contours. Beethoven's famous Ode to Joy from his 9th Symphony is a wave-like contour. Joy to the World from Christmas Carols is a descending contour. The Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem in the United States, is a wave-like contour. When describing the contour or shape of a melody, 2 new terms, conjunct and disjunct, are used. Conjunct melodies are mostly stepwise, while disjunct melodies leap around in wider intervals. A disjunct melody can convey stress or agitation, and a conjunct melody may convey a less anxious emotion. A melody is much like a sentence. It is organized into phrases. In fact, all of music is organized. One definition for the word music is the art of organized sound. Melodies are also organized into units called phrases. Melodic phrases act much like sentences in language. Phrases often come in dependent and independent pairs. When a phrase comes to an arrival spot, which if you are singing or playing a wind instrument is where you would naturally breathe, they have reached a cadence. Melodic cadences are similar to punctuation in language. This next slide shows a familiar example of phrasing and cadences. The cadences at the words pony, macaroni, dandy, and handy all have punctuation marks. Music without lyrics may be a bit tougher at first to determine the cadences, but they are still there as well. When lyrics are present, there is a natural alignment of melodic phrase and rhyme scheme. For example, in Amazing Grace, the rhyme scheme is, Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. This is simply an A-B-A-B rhyme scheme as identified by the last syllable in each line. This pattern of organization suggests rich musical possibilities. While melodies have many characteristics that give each line a unique personality, there is another compositional technique that can increase the expression of the composer further: the use of counter melody. Counter melody is an added melody that can be secondary in importance to a main melody, or it can be of equal importance to another melody. The technique of adding counter melody to a composition increases the variety that can be achieved by an inventive composer. An equally impressive use of two melodies sounding against each other can be found in improvisations by great jazz musicians, where two melodies are created and intertwined spontaneously live before an audience. When this works well, as in much of the work between Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, for example, the results can be magical.